How's it going, everyone, and welcome to KBT's Quick Tips, where I just go over quickly, very briefly, some tips for the newest Midwinter update patch, some things that you might not have known. Now, the first thing is the K in KBT actually stands for quick. Quick. Okay, so there's the first thing. So let's briefly go over the actual things in the game now. So my first quick tip relates to Deathwish cards, especially the Necker. Any Deathwish ability don't activate at the end of a round now. It specifically says trigger this ability when a card is destroyed. It doesn't count as being destroyed at the end of a round. So, any Neckers you play down, or anything else with an actual Deathwish, like Harpy Eggs for example, they won't actually trigger when the round ends. So I will get no carryover for this particular scenario. Okay? This is quite a massive deal, so just be aware that Deathwish cards don't actually trigger on round end, and you can use that to your advantage as well. So you don't have to worry about Neckers in the future, possibly. There are ways to get more out, using like the Shadow or whatever, but just be aware that Deathwishes don't work on round end. Ogeard, Morkvarg, and Ronvid do, because they're not classed as Deathwish, they don't have the Deathwish tag. So it makes them slightly stronger. So the next thing is in relation to discarding from the hand. So any of the cards that you have in your hand you can actually discard manually now. You pick a card and you drag it over to the graveyard and it gives you the option to discard it. By dropping it in there, it discards it. Now, I've got Ceres in there, okay? Now what's really interesting is that if I drop a Clan Raider in, which whenever you discard a unit it plays it, you'd imagine it to go into the graveyard and pop back out because I am discarding it, which will also tick for Ceres, which is actually a useful benefit if you've actually got one of these in your hand. Doesn't seem to be the case. Just seems to go in there and stays in there. Okay. There is an argument for saying that I could possibly discard a Queen's Guard in my hand in the final round and then play it to make sure I get the extra one. But that is just really interesting. A lot of people may not have known that you can actually discard manually your cards, and there are some situations where that's beneficial to do if you've got a Scorch and a D-Bomb and you don't want to Scorch your own unit but you want to wait for the D-Bomb. That type of scenario, I've had that before. It's very rare, but the option is there, so just be aware of it. And be aware also that you can't discard the Raiders. Tick Ceres. You're going to have to play them on board, which is actually a nice catch from CD Projekt Red there. So the next thing is that the history tab has been improved. Now normally it only shows your initial play, but it's been improved to that it will show each subsequent play you play on that particular turn. So for example, if I played a Priestess of Freya, okay, and resurrect a Queen's Guard, it will show the Priestess of Freya, and when I place the Queen's Guard on the board, it will now show the Queen's Guard. Now, it's not a perfect system yet. I mean, it doesn't show that that pulled other Queen's Guard. But any continuous chain you do, it will show in the tab here where it showed he played Decoy and it showed what he replayed. Okay? And so we can follow this through. I played Last Wish, which is going to play Alzor's Double Cross, which is going to play a Savage Bear. So we can see the history tab has been improved. So use that to your advantage to really understand what has gone on when you've looked at a cat or something. So the next thing is in relation to triple artwork bronzes. Any bronzes. So the next thing is about triple artwork for bronzes. There were a couple of bronzes which had triple artworks, 3 different artworks spanning the same card. So Queen's Guard were one good example, as well as the Drummond Shield Maiden. This has been reduced now, so there's no triple artwork bronzes. All condensed into one particular card, and unfortunately we got the Shield Maiden with a mustache. Now if you had any cards of those other particular versions, they've been condensed into this card, which is now the reason why I've got 9. So no more triple artworks, exception being like, you know, Crones and Witches, because they're actually different cards. And Poor Flanking Infantry will spawn its other versions, but in the collection tab, no more triple artworks, just a single card for that particular version of a card. Shield Maiden, Queen's Guard, Temerian Infantryman and such. So that's it for my quick tips. KingBlackToof quick tips. Just wanted to really just show you some of the extra things that maybe you didn't know about. Hope you enjoyed the little short video. Take care and I'll see you again very soon.